Maud Valerie White was born June 23, 1855. She attended the Royal Academy of Music to study composition. White managed to make an income, which included sales of her songs. White is not known so much today because most of her compositions were songs about folklore and poems. White passed away on November 2, 1937. A surviving song of hers entitled "So We'll Go No More Roving," a piece expressing heartbreak, which is demonstrated through the accompaniment of the piano and the treatment of harmony. Imogen Holst was born April 12, 1907, and is the daughter of Gustav Holst. Imogen followed in her father's footsteps to become a composer and was under the tutelage of Vaughan Williams while she attended the Royal Academy of Music. This selected piece, "Rejoice in the Lamb," was written by Benjamin Britten, but Holst arranged the piece by Britten's request for the 1952 Oldborough Festival. Due to her arranging this piece, she was given full control of harmonies, textures, and everything else in between. There are many differences between treatment of harmonies, texture, subject matter, and accompaniment. While White uses the piano as a supporting role in her song, Holst uses the accompaniment more as a call and response with the clarinet. Holst uses out-of-key harmonies to better the texture for the lyrics by Christopher Smart. Meanwhile, White stays within the known capabilities of the singer and piano. As a result, it emphasizes the beauty of the words and elevates the emotions of the piece. Beyond these two women, there are a plethora of female composers who go unmentioned within Western music history. For example, do you know the names of Jane Marion Joseph or Ivy Frances Klein? Klein was born on December 23, 1895, and studied at the Royal Academy of Music in 1923 under the tutelage of Benjamin Dale. Her works were known to the point where her piece, "She Walks in Beauty," was played for Queen Elizabeth II during the coronation month of 1953. However, the only piece I found for purchase was her rendition of "When Soft Voices Die," number 1 in G minor. Jane Joseph was born May 31, 1894, and she passed at the age of 35. She learned piano at a young age and won a scholarship to attend St. Paul's Girls' School, where Gustav Holst was teaching composition. Joseph became his amanuensis in 1914 and assisted in preparing the score for the movement Neptune for the planets. She wrote compositions for many festivals which were organized and sponsored by Holst. Most of her pieces were never published or lost, but some manuscripts are owned privately or by institutions. Holst praised Joseph for her talent and exclaimed that she was his best girl student he ever had. We will not find these women in our history books nor in most books about female composers. It is a shame that Klein is nearly forgotten, and Joseph is only mentioned for her assisting Holst, and not for her own accomplishments and compositions. William Boyce's baptism took place on September 11, 1711. Boyce was a chorister when he was young and began to learn the organ soon after, and eventually became the composer of the Royal Chapel in 1736. He composed beyond his duties for the church and was appointed to write "Heart of Oak" for an opera. This piece then was eventually adopted to be the official march of the Royal Navy of the United Kingdom. He passed away on February 7, 1779. Kenneth J. Alfred was born February 21, 1881. His real name is Frederick Joseph Ricketts. Both of his parents passed away when he was 14. He then faked his birth date to be able to join the Royal Irish Regiment. He served in the military for nearly 50 years, retiring in 1944. He wrote 18 marches total and several other compositions. The piece in mind, "The Voice of the Guns," was written in 1917 due to the First World War and the Western Front. Ricketts passed away May 15, 1945. Both composers are influential and have both written two marches which have been ingrained in English history. These marches are 157 years apart from each other. When you listen to these pieces back to back, there is indeed a stylistic change. Heart of Oak has a more melodic feel to its melody. It is supported by lighter offbeats and has a homophonic feel. The Voice of the Guns sounds heavier, has more involvement of brass, and sounds more of a Sousa march. George Augustus Polgreen Bridgetower was born in October of 1778. Bridgetower was the son of a servant of the Esterhazy family. He trained on violin by Joseph Haydn and was recognized as a prodigy. Bridgetower eventually studied at the Royal Academy of Music where he learned composition. Bridgetower is known for being associated with Beethoven, and Beethoven even named his 9th violin sonata after George. Sadly, his association with Bridgetower ended when Bridgetower insulted a female friend of Beethoven. Bridgetower composed several compositions, but very few pieces have survived time. The Henry Ballad is one of those few remaining pieces. Daniel Cadane was born in the year 1986. Cadane is an accomplished British composer who has composed for both small and large ensembles. His music is primarily 20th century, and his inspirations come from personal experience or nature. For example, the selected piece entitled Winged is inspired from Cadane watching starling murmurations. This piece with string quartet with electric guitar imitates the beauty and chaotic patterns of this phenomenon. I wonder if George would like the music of Daniel. With Bridgetower being trained by Haydn, would he like, dislike, or be indifferent to Cadane's compositional style? We can only speculate that he may appreciate the skill it takes to perform his pieces, but may dislike the atonal style. Or he may feel that the level it takes to perform Wing is beneath him, but may enjoy the style that it is written in. We will never know. John Barnett was born July 15, 1802 in Bedford, England. He is the son of a Prussian Jew, and at age 11, due to his notable singing, this led him to pursue a music education. He began writing smaller pieces but built his experience up to write an opera called Mountain Sylph. This opera was received greatly and was claimed to be the first modern English opera. What you're listening to is the overture of this opera. Erica Fox was born October 3, 1936. Born in Vienna, she came to England as a war refugee when she was 3. Fox grew up in an Orthodox Jewish place of living. She won a scholarship to attend the Royal College of Music, where she studied piano and composition. Beginning in 1974, her work started to be recognized and played on a regular basis at major music festivals and on radio broadcastings. Fox's 4-scene chamber opera, The Dancer Hotoke, was nominated for an Oliver Award. These composers are not within Western music history books. They are not recognized by the general public because most Jewish composers are not within textbooks or taught in classrooms. These figures are important to history, culture, and deserve to be recognized and to have their music explored. Dr. Feelgood was formed in 1971 by frontman Lee Brillo. The band played gigs, made records, and toured in order to get attention. From 1971 to 1983, the band released 12 records while touring. Dr. Feelgood is described as an English pub rock group, but contains the genres of rock, punk, and blues. The band struggled for many years to keep permanent members on board, but faced great travesty when Brillo passed in 1994 to cancer. The band is currently re-established, replacing Brillo with Pete Gage. Chubby and the Gang is a recently developed English rock band which was founded in 2019. The vocalist Charlie Manning Walker has been involved in the British punk scene since 2004. He met the other members of his band by being involved in a new wave of British hardcore bands, with a strong rock and punk feel. They recorded their first album, Speed Kills, in 2019 with producer Jonah Falco. Their influences come from such bands as the Ramones and Dr. Feelgood. Although Chubby is more punk than Feelgood, both hold unique qualities which has them stand out amongst other bands. Comparing the two, there is a sense of union. The vocals are both grungy and are taking risk for the sake of their identity. Because Chubby was influenced by Feelgood, it feels as if a torch is being passed down. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.